Hello, everyone. Let's wait for a couple more minutes and then I can start presenting. All right, I think we can start and people can join later too. Let me share my screen. Okay, welcome everyone. This is Özge Gülerman. I'm the MENA Group Manager of Marketing Science at Snap. And today I'll be taking you through our measurement philosophy at Snap on the new era of digital transparency. As you guys might be familiar with all the new privacy regulations like GDPR, the DSA, the cookie deprecation, these have led to a greater consumer privacy protections. And if there's anything certain about all these changes, there are even more yet to come for sure. So we basically call this era as the era of digital transparency. And as a measurement professional, actually, you might expect me to have a more skeptical name for this era that we are in right now. But the truth is, it's a good thing at the end of the day, right? The reality is that it protects consumers' privacy, it empowers them with choices, and ultimately, this is something that actually Snapchat, where I'm working in right now, is very much of an advocate of the consumer privacy. It's in our DNA. When you look at our products, we have the short-lived messages that gets deleted as default, and we have a focus on real moments, the real friends, and everything. So we are welcoming these changes. But there is also a downside of this. As we discussed, the signals are getting eroded, and we don't have the ability to tie the consumer to the outcomes on a one-on-one basis anymore, right? So there's a trade-off. The more the transparency and the user control over their data that we have, the more complex measurement ecosystems we need. So today I'm going to talk about our philosophy on how to tackle this, how um, Snapchat believes that we should build our measurement ecosystem around. Um, by the way, right now I cannot see your questions, unfortunately, on the chat. But at the very end, we are going to have a Q&A session, so you can still type your questions in the chat. I will go through them and I can answer your questions at the very end. So moving forward, as we set the stage, we talked about complicated measurement ecosystems. And if you guys are already working in this territory, if you're a marketeer or a measurement professional, you should be already experiencing this yourself, right? We are not looking at a single source anymore. Our research also shows that on average, the app advertisers especially have 3 measurement solutions in place. So this all changes are moving us away from last click attribution, which has become more and more clear that it's not the accurate measure of ad effectiveness. It's a poor judge of ad effectiveness. And there's a comeback on more holistic, more aggregate solutions like marketing mix modeling. And it's crucial to have a long-term evaluation of the outcomes of your business using these more aggregate solutions. The thing is, we are still, although there is a shift on this perception, we are still seeing in a very recent study that the eMarketer has conducted, 78% of the marketers are still using last click in their to measure their media efficiency. But on the other hand, only 22% of them believe that this is an actual reflection of the performance of the platforms. So, and 3 in 4 have already shifted away, or they want to move away from the last click attribution. So the perception has shifted. The majority of the advertisers, they know that the last click is not the ultimate solution to measure it, but the shift is happening in a slower pace. And the main reason is that there is no single tool that has all the answers, right? It is essential to have a more holistic combination of various measurements methods to leverage different methods strength to cover up for the gaps for other solutions in measuring. Right. So at Snapchat, as I said, I'm going to take you through our measurement philosophy, which is the 3 E's. It's our measurement framework. And it's basically execution, experimentation, and evaluation. So let me dive into these 3 factors, the pillars of our measurement philosophy. So we have a sailboat analogy over here. I'm personally quite passionate about it, and this is actually like a common passion that we have in the department. So we decided that this would be a great analogy to explain how this works. So there's execution. That is basically like monitoring the wind, adjusting the sails, making sure that the boat is moving. This is a daily execution, making the boat move, basically, right? So, and then there is experimentation. This is like the map where we find out different paths that can take us to our destination, but by experimenting, making sure that we are choosing the most efficient path to go to our destination. And then there's evaluation, which is a more longer term evaluation of our business that is making sure that we are on the right track, that we are setting our destination on the right path. And the most important thing on this framework is maybe the North Star, basically setting up our main KPI and making sure that all the KPIs in execution and in experimentation are in line with this main North Star KPI that we have, right? So let's dive into execution. As I said, monitoring the weather and adjusting the sails. So there are 3 key pillars, essential pillars for maximizing the on-platform impact when we are looking at the execution. First of all, monitoring. Of course, we need to still look at the click-based attribution on either first-party metrics on platforms like Snapchat. It could be web analytics tools. It could be, if you're an app advertiser, it could be Scan or MMP. So this is just to help quickly spot the issues and make timely adjustments on our day-to-day execution. And the second thing is execution principles. It is essential to adhere to these best practices while setting up our campaign to drive better results. And at Snapchat, we have our performance pillars around, the bidding, creative, placement, etc. And you can basically check if you are fitting into the best practices according to your objective, and make sure that the campaign setup is in the ideal way. And the third, last but not least, is the data integration, the signal quality. As I said, the signals are eroding, so we need to make sure that we are passing in the good quality signals that we have left with, that we are sharing it through the CAPI, and this would help us to enhance our targeting, optimization, and measurement. So this is not just for the measurement, but it is also for better targeting and optimization. So now it is, of course, very important to have the daily monitoring, but the most important thing that I'm going to be hammering throughout this presentation is that it is important to remember that execution alone shouldn't determine the overall success of a campaign, and daily attribution of the performance shouldn't drive the major budget allocation decisions. Because this would rely too heavily on the day-to-day results, and it can undermine the incremental impact of the business results. So this is where I move forward to the experimentation. So experimentation would help us in two ways, answering two questions. One is budget allocation across channels, and the second is the channel and campaign optimization. So it helps us to find the right strategy, find the right path to our destination, basically. So let's start with the first question. If you're running a cross-platform test to determine the budget allocation, there are a couple of methods that you can choose, right? One of them is attribution, multi-touch attribution, mainly. It's modeled, it doesn't look at just last click, it looks at multiple touches. That's one thing. And the second is the incrementality. Let's take a closer look at these. So MTA is extremely useful for, first of all, understanding how different marketing channels contribute to sales without undervaluing the impression-based channels, right? Like last click. So the advantages of MTA is, I think, quite clear. It is fast, it is scalable, it is real-time insights. However, the challenge is that, first of all, it is limited to digital channels. So if you have TV, if you have outdoor, unfortunately, you don't have clicks or touch points that you can include in this multi-touch attribution. And the second thing is that without an intervention, you couldn't really measure the incremental impact of that channel. So this is where incrementality comes into play. Incrementality experiments are gold standard for measuring the media effectiveness, showing the incremental value of a channel at a certain time. But these experiments are mainly slower. So it's not like you can look at the result every day and maybe it's not like checking the wind and adjusting the sales. You can't take daily input from these. and it is slower, and it is usually focusing on one specific pocket of media. It's just for one channel only. So, but the good thing is, as I said before, using these together is the ultimate way, because these complement each other. They basically fill in the gaps within each other's with each other's strengths. So using both and calibrating or triangulating the results is the ultimate way to go. If not, we should at least make sure that we are using at least one of these methodologies to inform cross-platform decisions, especially, rather than just relying on last-click attribution. So here is one example from Jaded London, one of our clients who is using Phospha as their MTA partner. And they realized that while they were using GA, the conversions that were being attributed to Snap was undervalued vastly. It was 8 times less than what Phospha, after running the MTA model, has attributed. And here I want to show you another aggregated analysis from our incrementality partner measured. This was done with 150 brands contribution who's using this incrementality solution. And on the right side, you are seeing the cost per incremental order for each of these platforms. And on the left side, you're seeing the spend for the past quarter. So ideally, each brand have their own version of this analysis. So seeing the incremental cost per incremental order and the overall spend together to understand the impact. But as I mentioned earlier, incrementality experiments provide a single data point for a specific channel for a specific time. So they are slow and not scalable. So instead of just trying to adjust the strategy by just looking at one data point, we recommend you to create incrementality multipliers by looking at multiple incrementality studies to basically calibrate your attribution solution. So again, these are complementing each other. With incrementality on a longer run, we get the incrementality multiplier that will feed into the attribution solution that we have. Taking a step backwards, I want to also talk about different incrementality methodologies. So designing the successful experiment basically begins with asking the right questions, right? So there are a lot of different incrementality methodologies. These are the two main ones, the geo-lift studies and the conversion lift studies. It can also be brand lift studies that can provide you insights as well. But so the main difference between these two is that GeoLift is ideal for if you want to compare different platforms, cross-platform comparison. GeoLift is the better way to go because it has a consistent way of taking the holdout, or the methodology is consistent across platforms. That is an apple-to-apple comparison. But the problem is it is resource intensive and prone to noise. And so it is only suitable for larger investments and bigger channel investments, basically. On the other hand, conversion lifts are easier to implement. They're on platform usually. And the problem with that is this is not ideal for cross-platform comparison because every platform may have different methodology while executing conversion lift. Plus, the strategy on each platform can be different. So it's better to use the conversion lifts for platform-specific tactical tests within the single platform, right? So just to give you an example here from a multi-cell split test example that we have done for one of our clients. Basically, we compared the dynamic catalog ads that gets fed with full catalog, like all products, versus the top 200 best-selling products, and compared how these two different sets of products would deliver ROAS. And we saw 75% better ROAS with the curated catalog, basically. So the client continued using the curated catalog strategy moving forward. Again, another example from Carolina Herrera. Here, this is an example of a brand lift study, multi-cell brand lift study, actually. And on one cell, they used video, and on another cell, they used AR, which is quite strong. As you know, on Snap, this is a very valuable placement, and we did see 7 points higher action intent on the AR placement, which they included in their campaign structure moving forward for a better incremental lift, especially for the lower funnel statements. Now moving forward to the evaluation, like what we did is with execution, we made sure that with the execution on platform is ideally set, and then with the experiments we adjusted our strategy, and with the evaluation we are looking at a more longer term results on our business coming from different platforms, right? And as I said before, MMM has been seeing getting more and more popular in the last years. We are seeing 3 times more advertisers, especially using MMMs. And the approaches and different companies in the space has grown significantly as well. So the good thing about MMMs is that we are able to see, we are basically able to optimize the budget allocation decisions, of course. We are able to see the saturation curves and where we are currently at, and if there is more leeway to go, or if we should reduce our budget on a certain platform to get the ideal performance out of that platform. So in our these charts that you are seeing here is from our recent partnership with OMG and Analect, and we ran 5 MMMs with 5 different MENA advertisers. And as you can see on the charts, there is still like majority of them are still way below their optimal spend on our platform levels. Plus, some of them were seeing twice as high efficiency on Snapchat compared to other platforms. So this is pretty much it. Let me summarize my key takeaways, and then I will start taking the questions. So first of all, as I said in the beginning, we know that the last click is not the ideal way of measuring ad effectiveness, but there is also no single party that holds the key to measurement. So it's all about seeing the bigger picture here. And then the second point is that the daily campaign performance alone shouldn't be used for making budget allocation decisions, right? So we should be leveraging incrementality multipliers or advanced measurement solutions, attribution solutions to optimize the budget allocations across channels. And more holistic, more aggregate solutions are essential for evaluating the long-term business outcomes. This is pretty much it. The most important thing I'd say to remember is that this is a journey. Like, it is not about the destination. It is constantly changing the destination, changing the path along the way, and optimizing the daily execution accordingly. And whether you are experimenting, executing, or evaluating, the key is to keep learning and evolving and making progress. So happy sailing. Thank you. Um, Now let me check if there were any questions. Um, yeah, if there's anyone who wants to ask any questions, I think. I see that. What are three measurement solutions you recommend to use, or both web and app, and also web to app? Um, yeah. Um, so, so as far as I understand your question, you're asking solutions for web versus app. Or web, like the web to app is a great workaround for app clients, for them to basically be able to move forward from the app's regulations. Basically, we are able to track better if we can direct the clients to the web first. And there are multiple advantages, of course. We could be getting the signups on the web before making the purchases on the app side, which is an advantage from the uh, app store side as well. And the second thing is that we are able to track the users from the website better, compared to especially for the iOS, because we are not able to match the user IDs, the users directly on the app side. So definitely for app clients, web to app is a great solution in some cases. Otherwise, for web and app solutions, so on the web, we are partnering with FOSFA. Uh, there are other solutions that we can recommend as well. Actually, if you can contact to your account managers, they can connect you with your local marketing science partner, so that we can give you better recommendations on who we are partnering with, or like any other solutions within your region or within your country. This might differ from one another. So on the website, I can, from top of my mind, I can say there's FOSFA. And on the app side, of course, the MMPs, Adjust, etc., would be the first uh, source of truth to look at, along with the platform numbers. So we could be looking at scan for the installs especially as well. So there are, as I said, multiple sources of truth that we need to combine and look in a holistic way. And then especially for the app side, I could recommend some agile solutions that are getting more and more evolved these days. So definitely having these agile solutions, especially if you don't have offline spends, mainly if it's more on the digital side, then I would definitely recommend these agile because they are more real time. It's not just quarterly. You can set up a dashboard, and it can even contribute to your monitoring part of the evaluation. I think there's one more message. I don't know where. Web separate, app separate, three web to app. Okay, I think I did answer your question, Ibrahim, right? Do you like, is it clear? Do you have any other questions? Um, yeah, I am not getting other questions right now. So thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time and joining me today. Please feel free to reach out to me anytime if you have any further questions or if there's anything else that I can help you with. And if you are already a Snap advertiser, for sure, as I said, you can reach out to your account manager or your team, whoever you have in contact with, so that they can connect you with the local marketing science partner who can guide you through these the steps and solutions in a more detailed way. Thank you so much, everyone.